All right, there we go. All right, finally live. Stupid thing's finally working. All right, so welcome to the Sunday Hangouts for the ZeroToHeroTrader.com channel. And for anybody watching this after the fact, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. That way you can get more in the future. Let's just to start off, we'll go over the disclaimer. So, of course, I am not a certified financial professional, and anything that we say during this little session is just opinion and for educational purposes only. And of course, you should know that trading is very risky, and you should only use capital that you're willing to lose, and yada yada yada. I've heard of all of this before. So with that said, let's dive in. Looks like I'm going to be by myself today, unless we'll shoot Sticks an invite, see if he wants to come in. I think Sorab's tied up with one of his children. He can't make it, so that's fine. Let's start off with just the market in general. ES futures. So I've been trading the futures a lot lately, and it's just been crazy the last couple weeks with the trade war and the tariffs going back and forth. So let's look at the ES, S&P futures. Let's drill down into the 5-minute here. So you can see this thing has been grinding up, and then we'll get some comment from Trump, or I think this right here was the yield curve inverted, so everything just puked out. And then it gapped way down, I think yesterday, and then kind of grinded back up, and then more comments from China, how they're going to retaliate on the tariffs since we put the tariffs into effect. And Trump didn't back off on that, so they dumped it again. And now it looks like they're trying to climb up again, but we've got this kind of triangle pattern kind of forming here on the 5-minute chart, which makes this interesting. My mouse can work. There we go. And it's just kind of forming that little pattern. And you can see how this is kind of resonating all the way back here, a few days back into last week. So let's back out a little bit. Let's back out to 1 hour. We can see we've been trading in this range, right, from like 29.40 down to like 28.50-ish, and it's just been kind of going back and forth over the past month, really. Pretty much all of August is just this big range. Pretty good if you're able to catch those swings. As far as day trading and stuff, we've had a lot of volatility in the market, and it's really kept things interesting. You don't really know what's going to happen next, but pretty much every time it gets into these levels, it's kind of going the other way so far. So I think it's probably going to take some news or a lack of news to break it out of this little range. However, it's looking like it's forming this little triangle here. So it's looking like it may try to make another run for the top. So I would look for a break of that maybe previous close, that 29.24 area, to look for some more upside. But then if we break that the 28.95 level, I think we can probably guess it's probably going to try and retest those previous lows around the 2800 level again. So we're just looking at those different levels and playing off of whatever the market gives us. All right, so I've got a few tickers here that Sorab gave me off of one of his bullish scanners. Do you have any that you want me to take a look at before I dive into those, Vinny?
I don't think so.
Nothing this week?
No, I've been sticking to the scalping of SPY.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I think I'm going to stick with that.
All right, cool.
I guess that intraday action.
Yep. Okay, well, I'll just hop right into this list then. We'll just go through these. I haven't looked at these yet, so he said they're coming off of a bullish scanner, so I don't know exactly what that scanner criteria is, so we'll find out. But if it's anything like the ones he was giving us the last couple weeks, they're probably going to be super, super bullish and overextended stocks, so we'll take a look here. So let's just go down the list. So the first one is RDUS. Yep. This thing's just parabolic on the hourly chart. Let me back out to a daily chart. Is this recent? That's 3 months. 1 year. There we go. All right, so this stock looks pretty bullish. To me, it looks like it's a little bit late to get in for me, but you never know. This could be one that's just starting a longer trend to the upside, but it's made this explosive move here over the 26 level. Had a really good week last week. All right, moving on, GMS. Again, another one that's just, this one looks like a really good earnings report. It doesn't show what's the expected, but they popped really big off of earnings. And it's had a nice triangle pattern. You can draw it out. And the earnings kind of helped it push up above that structure. So these are looking like stocks that have already made a move. But if I imagine he's wanting to probably scalp these as a Momo play or momentum play. So it looks like all of these would be really good for that. Next one is CME. Now this one's a little bit different. It looks like it's kind of consolidating in a bullish rising patterns, making higher highs, higher lows, and it's kind of making this small consolidation pattern here around 218. And CME, if you don't know, CME is that's really annoying. I don't know if you can hear that ringing. CME is the company that owns the futures exchanges and like the options and futures exchanges in Chicago. So you can see how bullish they've been. A lot of people trading and making lots of money. This is the market makers making lots of money here. That's what this company is. All right, next one, Roku. We're very familiar with Roku.
Yep.
It's just a complete beast, and it just keeps going up. It's just one that keeps going up. So one thing that I noticed with Roku, and this may be something that you want to take note of, every time that it dips down into this 34 EMA, which is the slower EMA here. Every time it dips down into that 34 EMA, you get a pop off of it, and it comes back into it, and a pop off of it, comes back into it, and a pop off of it. So I would say this is looking a little bit overcooked to me, but if you get another pullback into that 34 EMA, it might be a place to look to enter that thing. It's Roku. What else do you have on here? MDC. Now this one's interesting. We had a pretty big day Friday. Nice pop over this consolidation. Nice big bullish green candle with lots of volume. I don't know if they had news or something on Friday, but that looks like a textbook bullish breakout to me. And you also have the MACD turning up there. So this one looks really nice, MDC. I'll make a note for that one. All right, next one on the list is Saya. It's another one that's looks pretty bullish. He wasn't kidding when he said it was a bullish scanner.
What's the ticker on that one?
This is SAIA. I think Saya is like a transportation company. They make deliveries, like kind of like FedEx or whatever.
Okay.
So it looks like it's kind of making a move, breaking out over a recent resistance around 83.73. Breaking out over that level. Looking pretty good, maybe to make a fresh high. Let's look on the weekly chart. Yeah. I like that on the weekly chart. You can see how it's kind of made a nice run up, and it's looking like it's going to power right through that weekly resistance around the 83.70, 84, 85 level. It's making a nice move after making that nice basing pattern in there, and it's looking like it's moving back onto the bullish side. All right, moving on. TSN, which is Tyson Foods. And this is another one that's just a really, really bullish stock all year. It's just grinding just up, 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 up. How is this one not on our radar? This has been super bullish.
Yeah, what?
And over the past few weeks, it broke out of a nice, looks like a nice bull flag over several weeks, and it's just been making an ape run. Yeah, this one looks really good. Circle that one as well. Tyson Foods. They have the chicken farms. RMD. ResMed. Again, just a bullish grinder. Next one, PPC. Yeah, whatever the scanner is that he pulled this off of, they're all pretty much look the same to me, with the exception of a couple. But I mean, a lot of these are just very, very bullish and running, and have been running for a while. I have to get with Saurabh and see what exactly his criteria was for that scanner, but looks like most of these have had a really good year. Okay, next one is ZYME. Another one, just a nice bullish. This one's had a huge year. They've gone from lowest, it was down around $10, and it's up almost to $28 right now. This one's made a huge move, over 100% move this year. Very nice. HTH. This one's kind of interesting. It's not so bullish as the other ones, but it's kind of looking like it's trying to break out of this little consolidation structure right around the 2370 level on HTH. Right, next is MODN. Now this one's just gone. Like, made a huge move in the last 2 weeks off of their last earnings report. It's really huge moves in this stock. Another one that's gone up over 100% over the year. All right, that's all he had on the list here. Let's go over some of the normal players.
Do Home Depot.
Yeah.
And Lowe's.
Yeah,
sure.
let's talk about those. 'Cause one of the questions that came up was, okay, we've got Hurricane Dorian coming into the East Coast, and one of the questions was, what are some stocks that may see some effect from a large-scale storm like this? And what I said was one of the things that ends up happening usually is you get a pop in commodities like oil, natural gas, things like this, because it's just things that are can go shortage. Shortage when you have things like this where the storm is knocking out the power and infrastructure, things like that. So those things are going to go up, and then you have these home improvement companies too. When the storm's over and people are starting to rebuild their homes. I know when we had Hurricane Harvey here a couple of years ago, you couldn't get sheetrock because everyone was re-sheetrocking their homes, right? So sheetrock went through the roof, and of course at that time too you had the Home Depot and the Lowe's stocks to get a bump. So that's one thing that we expect to happen is those home improvement stocks should get some kind of bump after this thing is over. GE?
Yeah, what do you think about that one?
I think GE is probably going to go bankrupt. That's my
for a short-term momentum.
I haven't looked at the chart. Let's look at the chart. Yeah, it looks pretty shitty, man.
I want to short that.
It looks like it's kind of trying to curl back up. But, GE's been in a world of hurt for a while.
I'm going to grab some puts on my paper account. See what goes on.
I imagine, I haven't looked. Let me look really quick. But I imagine they're not very expensive. I would be wrong. They're actually very expensive. Oh no, sorry. That's ES. Why did it go to ES?
There's dirt.
Yeah, I was looking at the futures options. Yeah, they're super cheap, like I thought. So
Dirt cheap.
right at the money, you're looking at 30 cents. So $30 a contract. But
Yeah.
you know, you're probably only going to be looking for like a 50-cent move. If you're swinging it, maybe a 50 cents, maybe $1, you know, move. So, you know, you're looking at like maybe $40, $50, something like that for a trade like that. That's not bad for the, you know, for what you're paying for it. That's not bad at all. All right, let's go back and look at Home Depot. The chart of Home Depot. Yeah, so we can already see it's starting to get a little bit of a run. Coming off their earnings. They had a really nice earnings report. And they actually beat by a little bit. But I like the chart here. I mean, it's making higher highs, higher lows.
Yeah,
I'm really looking nice and bullish.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna hop on those.
Let's check out lows. LOW. Lows a little different, but they have they do have that resistance at 117.70-ish, and then you've got room for it to go to that resistance. So you know, if you hopped in this tomorrow, you know, if it opens at 113 or something like that, you've got a good $4 that it could move up before it hits that next resistance. So there's a little bit of a gap there can fill there.
Yeah.
Let's look at Amazon. All right, before Amazon, let's look at oil. See what's going on with oil. It's actually kind of interesting. I mean, oil's not really doing much. It's just kind of consolidating over the past few weeks and months, kind of moving down on the trade war, but then that's kind of made a bottom around that $51 area, and it's kind of made a bounce, but it's not really, you know, doesn't really look like it wants to spike too much right now. We'll see how oil plays out over the next couple of weeks as we start getting a little bit of a rebuilding going on from the hurricane damage, because I think Hurricane Dorian now they're saying it's like a Category 5 storm right now, and I think they said it's so strong that if there was a 6 it would be a 6, but I think that scale tops out at 5, so this is going to be really bad, and I think they're saying that it's going to just swipe right up the coast, right up the east coast, so you know, could be a very, very damaging storm event.
It's right on me.
And I hate that it's happening to those people, but I'm glad it's not in the Gulf, because we had our turn. It was not pretty.
Yeah.
Let's look at Amazon. I'd like to trade Amazon. Can't see it on the 4-hour. Okay. So it kind of bottomed out around this lower trend line last week and popped up off of it, and then Friday when we had the big sell-off, it sold back off into it. So it's kind of hard to say what's going to happen with Amazon. Not really sure right now. You know, the ZTH scalper script on the daily chart showing that it's still pretty bearish. But we've got the MACD turned up, so looking kind of bearish to neutral right now. Not a full-on short, but not a buy either. So
yeah, I'll just wait on that one.
Just waiting on that one, yeah. Now, one thing that's interesting, and I'm actually finished with all the tickers I had, but I wanted to share this with you. I told you I was working on some new tools. See, how do I? There we go. If I can find the right thing here. Not GE. Amazon. All right. You're watching the stream, right?
Yep.
Okay. Get rid of all this junk here. Hold on one second. It still wants to stay there. Fine, I'll just pull it down. All right. So I made this new script. You can see this what I have up here, right, with the different colors. I got the green candles, the orange candles, and the red candles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what this is based off of is the previous days, three different levels from the previous day. So you've got your the green line is the high of the previous day. The white line is the close of the previous day, and the red line is the low of the previous day. And then it also shows you the pre-market high and low based on going from midnight. So this is Amazon, right? So I was actually calling this out in the chat room and watching this unfold. I was actually too busy to take the trade, which really sucks because this one was a monster short. So what I've been working on is looking at how to trade based off of these levels. And what I've been doing, or what I noticed is, whenever you cross from this green to orange to red, whenever you cross from green to orange, which is crossing this close, the previous close, that is a very important level. Okay? If you think about it, it makes sense because
Did you turn the oven off?
hold on a second. What?
Did you turn the oven off?
Yeah.
Answer my phone.
Sorry. So if you think about how the chart's formed, any kind of movement over a range, the stock or the price has to move past the close of the previous one, right? To push any farther up the chart. So this is what I'm basing this off of. So the way that these candles are painted, whatever, it's just a visual, right? You don't even need the painting, but it helps with the visual. So if it's green, it's going to be above the close. If it's above the high, it's going to be bright green. So you see the day before gapped up above the high of the previous day. We've got a nice bright green. So that would give you bullish bias until it crosses
It's like a stoplight.
Yeah. But what's interesting about Amazon on Friday is it opened right under the high of the previous day. and it started moving down. And once it got below VWAP, that was the signal to say, hey, this is looking weak. Okay, so that's when I started saying in the chat, hey, watch that close level. If it reaches that close level, it's going to crack. That's exactly what happened. It hit it, it bounced, and it cracked hard. And that would have been the spot to get the puts. And you can see that big red candle where it pushed super hard below that level. I think that this strategy or whatever, I think there's probably algos that use this. And the only reason I say that is because I noticed it first in the futures. Because every time that you get this move over this closed level, either way, if it cracks down, it'll move, you know, a good few points. And even if it comes back, if it crosses it again, it'll move the other way a few points, whatever. And it may keep going, whatever. But the point is, you get a nice move either way when it crosses that level. So I think it's a very important level for these algos that are trading this type of thing automatically. I think that's why you get these huge order flows coming in to push the price in one direction or the other when it crosses that level. And so you can see it when it crossed that close. It got a nice push down. It hit the previous low. You can see that hammer candle hit the previous low, bounced, and when it retested it, it just crashed through it. So it's pretty interesting. And we can see, we go back a few days. Let me give it a few more days, do 10 days. There's another one. I did the same kind of thing. Crashed right through that level. Didn't even check up at the previous low. The next day, where'd it go? Where was I? There we go. The next day, it opened up below the previous low, retested the close, came back below the low, and then continued to sell off. So it kind of gives you those levels to play off of, and it's pretty interesting. I've been actually taking trades off of this with the ES, and it's actually works really well, and especially these trades when it's going from the green to orange or orange to green seems to work really well. And you see here, went from green to orange, got stopped out, and went the other way, and then it continued to go in that direction. So, pretty interesting.
Yeah, I like that.
And you can really see it in the ES here. It's weird. I don't know why I didn't paint that one. Kind of strange, but you can see it here where these are some of the ones that I was actually trading, like this one. I took this one here. There. Let's see. Come on, mouse, click. There it is. All right. So I took this short here when it crossed that white line. And that was good for, you know, a good 5-6 points. And then this one here again, when it crossed up, we got this huge spike. I think that was actually off the news, but still ended up working out. This one here happened during the day. That was a nice one as well. And this one here, nice short. for, that was what, 82 to 60. It's almost 20 points in the ES, which is like $1,000 trade. And this one here is a huge trade, huge move. Went above the close, and when it cracked it again, that was your signal to go short, and it had a huge, what is that, 918 to 834, and it was a huge move. So, you know, it's something that you can use, especially with SPY. You can use it with SPY as well. You know, to draw out those levels, and it's really useful when you see it crossing those levels. You know, they're very important levels. So you know, hey, if it crosses that, you know, we're going to get the momentum starting to go in that direction. So it's something that we're working on. Not quite ready to roll it out yet, but you know, in the meantime, you can draw them in manually if you like. All it is the close, open, and high of the previous session, and just extend it out to the next day. That's
Yeah, we'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah. And this, you know, this script is really helpful as far as a convenience. So, I mean, I think we were talking about making it like maybe like $200, not too expensive, not like the other one, just because it's more of a convenience thing. So you can flip through any ticker you want, and you know, those levels are going to be there. You know, it's just a convenience where you can go in and draw these yourself and spend, you know, 10 minutes on each ticker doing it. But this thing just kind of throws them in there for you, and it's kind of nice, especially if you're flipping through like a whole watch list or whatever. But another thing that I'm working on too is I coded this actual strategy into TradeStation for the auto trading. So I'm kind of back testing the system and seeing kind of how does it do. Just on taking the trades only off of that clothesline, and it actually works really well. Just every time it crosses that close, just going either long or short based on which way it's going, and just holding until it crosses it again. It makes a new close and crosses it again, and you know, decide whether to go long or short or just hold or whatever. And it's actually, the results are really interesting. Yeah. Just some of the stuff that we're working on. That's pretty much all that I have. Let's take a look at any news. Let's see, Market Watch. Let's see. Got PMI, construction spending, weekly jobless claims on Thursday. Not seeing anything too crazy until Friday. You got the non-farm payrolls on Friday, jobs numbers. So that might be interesting. That's really the only thing I see. I think anything else is just going to be any trade news or whatever, that Trump and China are still arguing over when they should meet and all this crap. So anything that comes out of that, it's going to move the market one way or the other. So I really don't know. So just have to be nimble and stay liquid. Don't get too heavy into one side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta see if we break that channel.
Yeah.
Maybe
Looking
this
at
is the week.
294 on SPY. Hopefully, if they get above 294, 295, if it can clear 295, it'll be on its way back to all-time highs pretty quick, I think. But it's got a ways to go. I mean, it's already gapping down 291 ish right now, so it's not looking that great right now. But I don't know. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Okay, man, that's all I had for tonight. You have anything else?
Nah, I think that's it, man.
That's it? Okay. Well, thanks for showing up. You're the only one. I'm sure we'll get some people watch it later, but it's all good. I think everybody's kind of still hung over from today, so
I guess so.
I think I was the only person in the chat that actually had to go to work today, so that's always fun. All right. Well, I will see you in the chat tomorrow.
All right.
I'll be in there. All right, man. Take it easy.
You too.